Good evening. Good evening, my dear colleagues, friends, and all the new listeners. So we start this month's last webinar today on the topic of technology, and mostly we will focus on the technological aspects and then the 7 reasons or the main reasons why this technology that I'm going to present to you, Skyway technology, unique string technology, why this technology is here to make impact, and not only make impact but change the world, at least the thinking part, or the evolving part of our brain, and then imagine about what else could be possible, because since we know that there are quite rapidly growing challenges ahead of us, with this going more green and the electrifying part, and then of course the economical part as well, and this all and the biological part, of course, as we have witnessed recently. As hopefully this will finds its right way to not change so much of our lives, if that's not necessary. But anyhow, I hope that we're all well, and we are nevertheless eager to conquer the world and eager to make impact in our future, because we shape the future, we as humankind, as people, and that's why our thinking is very important. Yes. But all right, let's get on. So yes, my name is Mihkel. I'm from Estonia, and for the past 4 years and more, I have been involved, and I have taken part of this journey with Skyward community toward spreading the information about this new technology that most likely will impact many people's lives, and yes, well, through tonight's webinar, we will see, the evening's webinar, we will see more why I'm saying such a great words toward this technology, but really it is amazing. Yeah, so briefly introduction, here it is. This is Skyway technology, one piece of it, one model, unicar, and as we know, unicars can, it can hold basically from 4 people up to hundreds of people, depending on how large we will make the cabin, or how tall, so to say. But yeah, here it is. And also, as you can see, the supports here, you can bear in mind that those can be covered with solar panels. There can be wind turbines, as well as with the cabin that flows through the air or drives through the air on the rails or under the rails, as you can see here. So yes, so and the shape, and if you take a look at the construction part of the support there on the left side, you can see how thin it is, and it's very elegant. Well, at least when we start to compare it with different technologies I'm going to show you quite soon. But all right, few news. I know I promised you not to tell news this time, but just briefly, most important ones that recently have caught my eye, at least, and should be known to every investor, at least, or a person who wants to become an investor, because this is very important present moment news, so to say. But Abu Dhabi Current, yes, they consider string track projects. They conducted a meeting, as you can see on this picture as well. And they were highly, well, impressed and were discussing or developing ideas about different routes connecting important points in Abu Dhabi. So, and in conclusion, well, they were very satisfied, the government, people from the government, and they will take it to the highest level of these, well, planning conductors or people whose word is well, most important, or group of people, which would say the last go, who gives the go or green light. So basically, yes. But all right, then the process of the track 2 construction in Sharjah, as you can see here. Well, I just bring this out to you so you can see that. Well, maybe I should, a little bit tell you briefly about demonstration and certification centers. So we have 2 of them. First one was built, well, the building started back in 2015 in Belarus, near Minsk, in a place called Marina Korka. And the second one, for the past 3 years, I believe now, 2 or 3 years, Skyway has been building his, well, as you can see on this picture as well, in not Abu Dhabi, but in Sharjah. So it's next to Dubai, about 15 kilometers from Dubai. Yeah, so there is the second one, and that one is called, or this one has here presented on the slide, is called Innovation Center, or at least this one is part, just 2 buildings there, but there are many buildings. There is a eco house of ours, which is a wooden house, so basically. But more about that one I can tell you next time. Yeah, or you can look it up, because I have told about eco house for quite long. So this time we'll take a look at more about the new buildings. So, but the first track was 400 meters that was built, and basically you can see it's the small one there where the 2 guys are standing on the right side next to the car, and then to the left, about, I don't know, 1 centimeter, there is the support, the beautiful support, and that one actually exists as well. That's called for Unicar, and it has been certified. Also, the Unicar has been certified, which is great news, because, well, at least I have thought about this, that Marina Korka in Belarus is like a window to, well, the eastern countries. And in Sharjah, that place, if we get certificates for the tropical climate, as we have done so far, like this Unicar back there, it's certified, then this is like a window to tropical climate countries like Vietnam or Indonesia or India, or there are plenty of those, which African countries as well, and that it will be very useful there for many reasons. But yeah, some more pictures here. So basically, why this is revolutionary, this container, this method to transport or take containers from one place to another, is that we can, well, basically use both sides of the track, the above side and the beneath the track. So it's already twice as efficient as, for example, if we think in parallel about train or well, even ship. It's only 1 ship and then it's sea. But here we can have on one track, we can use both sides, so it's double efficiency, and the average speed, or at least the maximum speed at the moment, is about 120 kilometers per hour. So that's quite impressive as well, because as we know, mostly the trucks, well, the average speed is half of that, which has Liivakant here on this slide. So basically, it's already twice as speed and twice as fast as well, the trucks or ships or trains even, and both sides. And then the loading, unloading, and well, docking time, it's about 1 minute or less, and it runs totally on electricity. There is no driver, So our autonomous transportation system, basically, it's just impressive. Yeah, you can see. But all right, let's get on to the main part of this presentation. I will just sip a water for a second. Yes, so about 100 years ago, an artist pictured a future, our future. So that would be present moment, as you can see on this slide. So, but what I would like to, well, or what I'm thinking if I take a look at this picture is, or this painting is that today as well in developed countries like Paris, Rome, well, here in Estonia as well, Tallinn, Tartu, Finland, all around the world, in the States, of course, Canada, and so on, we have this, well, perfect first level infrastructure, I might say, at least by the technologies that people are using to move and to get from one place to another smoothly and as fast as possible, or as fast as needed. And of course, the cost as well. It depends a lot about possibilities of a person. Some might have to try with bus, some might want to try with bus, but some might want to use car. We have electrical cars coming, scooters, bikes, tramways, trolley buses, even metros underneath our, well, ground floor. There are tunnels digged, which are very expensive, and there is also a, well, train basically driving. But new challenges, new I can say problems constantly arouse about the infrastructure, about the traffic jams. More and more people are coming to live inside the cities. Well, most of the centers and tourist attractions are located there, where are, well, metropoles and so on, like, well, Rome, at least we know, and the culture and so on. But the problem here is that it's impossible today to take down already existing buildings to widen the roads, or build more tunnels or so on. It's very expensive to do that, and therefore, well, the humankind, I can say, or the societies, they need new solutions, and well, one of the most logical ones is to go to the second level, if we have the great technology to do that. Because so far, I can show you now what humans have already invented. Here on the left side, the normal train, just like a bridge, is like the arcs there. And on the right side, that one is monorail. I could say that one is most maybe popular. If we, well, compare it with Skyway, it's somehow, with tram, of course, they are somehow very similar. Well, monorail, because of its idea, it's on the second level, it has its own supports there, but take a look at those supports. They're very massive, and the rail itself, it's massive, and there are, well, Skyway has developed itself, so it can be numerous times better than all the existing technologies that we have today. And I will soon show you why. But this again is monorail. It's, well, it's in New York, in Japan, in Dubai. It's widely used, but mostly the tracks are not very long, and it's not that, well, popular. At least it's not in every cities, but it's in most of the major cities. But I don't know when. I don't recall at the moment when would be the time when last monorail was built, but I think people do not use it very much these days, and that's, well, understandable, because it's 19th century technology, as most of the technologies today we're using are, well, and the electrifying part is, well, we can see it's a new angle, because it's going to, well, take mass adoption. But Otherwise, well, the electrical part has been here as well for about 100 years or so. So I have even seen the pictures of electrical scooters back in 1920s and so on. So, but it was kind of secret for a while, and then it was developed, and now it's the time has come to take, well, or to switch from the fuel engines to electrical ones. But here it is, Unitsky string transport. Let's now focus to the presentation. What is the idea of Dr. Anatoly Unitsky, who is the creator and the architect of this technology, of the Unitsky string technology? His idea is to develop or to make this transnet, yes, basically develop transnet globally. So that would be hundreds of thousands or millions of kilometers of skyway tracks, which will connect, well, different cities, different places. So therefore, the track length has been designed from the beginning to be unlimited. But with monorail, for example, it's up to 50 kilometers. Then maximum speed between cities. This is the high-speed model, which is not that one on the screen at the moment, but another model, that one goes up to 500 and even more kilometers per hour. And the route or the track for testing and certifying it, well, the idea has been around for many years now. And when it starts to materialize, at the moment, I'm not sure, but that would be the end of the 15th stage as well when that happens. So we have 15 stages of development with our technology, and after 15 stages, it should be in masses and make profit, of course, and so on. But it depends. The 15th stage depends when we will start to develop the track, because it needs about 20 to 25 kilometers long, distance track, where it could accelerate for 10 kilometers, to speed up, then to accelerate, and then to brake as well. So it needs distance for that. And that's why we are step by step building new tracks at the moment. There is, in Marina Gorka, in our Ecotechnopark in Belarus, we have more than 7 different track structures, and more than 7 different models have been certified by Russian and Belarusian standards. And in Innovation Center in Sasha, in United Arab Emirates, we have one track completed and Unicar on it certified, the Tropical Unicar one, luxurious 4-seated. And then 3 other tracks are under construction at the moment, and those will be 2.4 kilometers long. So important to notice. And there will be a Unicont, the sea container one, then more than 100 people take on models, and then different track structures, different models to be certified. And then when we have all these certifications, people see that all this works and even beyond, then of course there's no doubt that first the tropical climate countries and then the developing countries and African countries will take our technology in use. But all right, between cities, the maximum speed is up to 150 kilometers per hour, which is also great. And of course, usually we do not need, because there are stops in such a short distances that it's not reasonable or comfortable for passengers that that the model or the technology they are driving with accelerates to 150 kilometers and then stops immediately again. So therefore, I believe the average speed will stay about 70 to 100 kilometers per hour in wider routes or longer routes. But of course, there can be different tracks. So because, as you know, we have that leverage, our technology, that we can ride on the track structure and beneath at the same time. So basically on it there can be, for example, express line, which goes 500 kilometers per hour, and longer distances, few hundred kilometer, 300-kilometer distances. And beneath it can be the up to 150 kilometers per hour models that have more stops on the way. Then they are all self-driving electric cars, so autonomous. That's also great news. And traffic interval and traffic capacity, well, now that's important one to also understand, and I will try to explain it as simply as possible. And basically we have this track structure, we have this station, then we have a parallel track structure which is connected to the one that goes to the station, and in the end of the parallel structure there is a depot, basically another station, but for maintenance, for charging, because Skyway has its own batteries, has its own motor wheels, and they need electricity. So therefore, charging is also very important. It can be done in stations while stopping and, well, letting people go out and new one get on board. At that time, it can be, and it can also, well, basically be at the depot then, or at the maintenance. But another great side point here is that we can also store many of those unicars or unibikes in that maintenance area or in that depot, that another station. And when the traffic, well, the amount of people who are coming to the station at the rush hours, when that starts to rise, then it's possible to automatically that parked mobiles, unicars from that station will start to serve people as well. So, and when again the rush hour is gone, then they can go back to that station to charge or for maintenance. And that's why the traffic capacity is up to 500,000 passengers per day as well. Yep, so that's, I believe, is important to notice. Yeah, one picture from Metro as well. Then this one is possible to see in Berlin, Wuppertal. Again, it's not widely used, just in Germany. And this is basically like a tramway, but it's upside down, and, well, and that's basically it. But in China, it's possible to see this one. Well, that one is now, this is the cable car, basically, or the technology of cable car, which is described on the left side as well. And then the idea here is that the cable moves itself, but well, the cable moves, but these cable cars, they do not move. They are basically like sewed to the cable and staying or on the one spot, and the cable moves. And this, well, in ski resorts, you have most definitely seen or noticed this. But this basically, there is in one end there is like this well, spinning engine or wheel, which basically takes or moves the cable. Yep. But other than ski resorts, this cable car system is basically used for touristic attraction. Nothing else. Well, yeah, nothing else, mostly because the speed is about 15 to 20 kilometers per hour, so it's very slow. Of course, it's up high, so the view is very nice, like with Skyway. But there are, yeah, many different well, side effects there, and it's also quite expensive. But yeah, here it is in Marina Gorka, our Eco Technopark. There was demonstrated the situation when, well, if something happens with one of the unicars, then what? Well, about the safety, what will we do? Then the first option is to connect to another one which is not broken or which works perfectly, to connect it with his elements, as you can see here in the front and in the back end, basically in the nose and in the tail of this unicar or unicars. And those will connect with each other, so that the broken one can be either pushed or pulled to the maintenance. Of course, there are these straps as well. If that solution which I just described is basically not possible, then we will put straps around our waist or our shoulders. Then there is this metallic element which clings to the hook which is inside the cabin, and we can lift ourselves down very smoothly. And this one was presented by a member of Skyway as well. In Sacha, and this was a big guy, I believe 140 kilograms or something like that, and he landed absolutely softly. So that's great to know. So yes, welcome to the new age: electrified, fast, economical, and elegant on the second level, and that's also the main part of under the security, that why it's safe, is that we are located up in the air on a specific track structure. So basically we cannot crash into another mobiles or cars or trucks or whatever, if we have of course calculated the height. But that's the job that of course has to be done, the planning part and developing a project part. So, all right. So now we're going to see the reasons why Skyway is here to stay. We will get into first and second important point, and then the other ones we will continue in the next webinar with another points. So yeah, all right, let's see. First one, of course, it's innovative. As I mentioned before, it's electrified. There can be solar panels attached to the road structure, also wind turbines. And so basically it's possible that Skyway produces its own electricity. It just needs some maintenance over time. And of course, the artificial intelligence part, IT part, info technology part. So all this is combined. So this is basically 21st century technology. It's materials that have been used to construct this amazing technology. These materials are nothing new to the humankind. It's all just put together in a new patented way, and that's important to again to remember. But here you can see on the right side there are this bunch of strings. These are pre-stressed strings. So basically it's like a bridge, kind of same the idea as is used with the bridges around the world. But it's again filled, this metal frame is filled then with a special filler. It's basically to put tubes in there as well, to, if necessary, to take some cables or else through the track structure. But then there is this motor wheel, which, as I mentioned before, Skyway has its own motor wheel. So basically that one runs on the track structure or beneath it. And then the derailment system. But the derailment system is so great that even if we put it upside down, the model on the track structure, it stays there very strong. It's like a spider. And in the beginning, when the developing or the construction began in Belarus, then in the first years there was one accident as well, where the track was not taken so high because it's more economical to develop it first lower, then try everything, test and demonstrate, and then take the track structure higher, like they have done as well. But at first there was an accident where a tractor drove into the way in the way of the testing of the unibus, and the cabin of this tractor was totally smashed. Luckily, the driver stayed alive, was taken to hospital, but everything ended happily. But Skyway, the cabin itself, it was just switched off a bit from its shape, but everything was holding in one piece, and it could even move further and back. So that one also demonstrated it was somehow not very lucky thing to happen, or not great thing to happen, but it demonstrated that even with crash, it's possible to stay very well inside the interior, or that the interior holds very well. Yep. Here it is. So basically, this was the same truck which you can see on this slide at the moment, but just different model. It was Unibus, and tractor on its way. Here it is again, but this one we already discussed. Yeah, there was EcoFest. I hope this will come again in the future, at least in our United Arab Emirates, where we could go all together and have this amazing day. People can come and see and try. This was this day is meant mostly for investors who can purchase tickets through their back offices, and once in the summer it took place, but right now, because of firstly the coronavirus, now the other situation, then which we all know, of course, then that's why it hasn't taken place in Belarus. But in United Arab Emirates, it's possible to see that from the road all these structures, but to get inside, we need special permission. Yeah, so we will stop here and we will continue with ecological part, and after that there is 5 more reasons why Sky is here to stay and why it will be developed in the future, and of course why we as investors should be proud of ourselves and should be patient, since this is the beginning of something great. But all right. The next webinar in English takes place on 13th of October, 7 p.m. So the time frame or the time zone is GMT +2. So check this one out as well, depending on where you are located in the world. And of course, via YouTube, it's possible to see me later, because this is also broadcasted there as well. But thank you again for coming, for listening, and soon we will have all our webinars and all the presentations renewed, and there will be updates, and that's also great to notice, but more about that in the coming webinars. Right now, thank you very much all for coming, and stay healthy, stay happy, and let's work together to achieve something amazing. So let's share this information. All right. Goodbye.